Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of The Growth Playbook with myself, Kim Clark, and my dad, Alan Beaulieu. Today, we're going to be talking about sources of federal government revenue. So, looking forward to this, Dad. Curious what people's reactions are to when they first hear that. Where do they think federal government revenue comes from? So, I'm looking forward to chatting through it and then probably debunking some common misnomers that folks have on the subject. So looking forward to diving in.
I hope so. I like to debunk.
It's a fun word to say, at least.
That's right. It's a fun word. It's right. Before we begin, though, if I may, I came across some information to tack on to last week's show about the demographics.
Yep.
Uh, there's a list of cities which are showing to be the most favorable in terms of job opportunity, wages, and housing opportunities for millennials because they're challenged in those areas, especially housing these days. And we can cover that some other time because I've come across some new information on housing, which is kind of interesting. But uh, the cities, just to list them, are Austin, Texas, obviously, Phoenix, Arizona, Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Boise City, Idaho, uh, which is probably a witness protection program, Jacksonville, Nashville, Denver, and Sacramento. Uh, Personally, I would advise against Sacramento because that's going to be a state that's going to be clocked hard in the depression that's coming. So if you're a millennial listening to me today, forget I mentioned Sacramento, but it was on the list, so I felt compelled to honor the list. Those others have some real promise. We would speak well of Texas and Arizona, North Carolina, uh, Tennessee in the coming years, and so have at it. Uh, Good cities, been to all of them, and I think that they offer a lot of opportunity. So, all right, let's move on if that's okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no, and thank you for bringing that up. It's very interesting.
Oh, thanks for that. I appreciate you saying that.
Affirmation, affirmation.
That's right. Exactly. No, I don't want to make this a statistical study so much as did you know that?
Mm.
Let's take it as a did you know that? We all know the federal government spends more than it takes in, but we'll deal with spending some other time. If you'd like, actually, it's really good that we do in the future because of the debt and where we're going and everything that's involved. But for today, let's deal with the revenue side. Most federal revenue comes from individual income taxes. Uh, that's 53% of federal revenue
Mm.
comes from personal income taxes. And to offset that, or maybe to put that in context, that's 53%. Corporate income taxes, let me put the dollar amount, sorry. Personal income taxes, $1.76 trillion. Okay. That's fiscal year to date. And the business taxes, corporate income tax is $199 billion. That's not even close, right?
No.
And that's 5.6, excuse me, 5.98%. So 53%, 6%.
Mm.
It's like, hmm, Now there is double taxation because a publicly held corporation, the dividends that flow through to the individuals, the corporation's getting taxed on their profit, and then the individual receiving a dividend gets taxed on that. So there is some double taxation in through there. But again, it's a kind of moment. Just kind of let that settle in. The second largest source of revenue to the federal government is what is paid into Social Security and Medicare. And that is 32% of the federal revenue,
Wow.
half of which comes from individuals
Yeah.
and half comes from businesses, not corporate income tax, but from businesses. That's 1.7 trillion dollars. So you add those two together, things that have to do with we, the people, personal income taxes and Medicare, Social Security, which businesses don't benefit from, they pay into. That's 85% of the revenue comes from there. I thought, holy cow, I knew it was big. That's a big nut. And it so from there, obviously the list goes down from there. It's not that important. Next time you hear somebody get excited about estate taxes and all that sort of stuff, that counts for $24 billion year to date, or 0.074% or 0.74% of what comes in is the nothing.
Yeah.
People go, oh, state taxes. I'm against them, by the way, don't get me wrong, but people say, well, if we do away with it, it'll really hurt the budget. We're talking about a lousy $24 billion. Stop it. Shut up. Let people keep the money they've earned. And let me pass it on to my kids. And I don't care if it's $10 million. I mean, I don't have to worry about paying a tax because the amount I'm leaving you is not going to reach that level because mom and I have every intention of spending as much as we can. But for other people, it certainly is. If pass it along, they've earned it. Let them pass it along. And this actually, estate taxes, maybe another subject, hurts farmers.
Mm.
Um, and that bothers me at another level. And another thing that I came across, but I want to touch upon, is that custom duties are $189 billion or 5.68% of the budget. The only reason I'm bringing that up, dear daughter, is because when tariffs first came out the first time around, and lately, people, not everybody, some people were saying, and I won't mention names, no matter what office they hold, that we could raise enough money in tariffs so that perhaps we could do away with income taxes.
It does not seem the maths.
Nope. I'm looking at my numbers. Nope, not even close. And I remember doing the math when that statement was made. If we put 100% tariff on everything we import into this country, it doesn't come close to covering income taxes. So it's like some people say stupid things and other people are beguiled into believing those stupid things. The most important factor here is the health of the income earning public. Are they getting sufficient wages so that they can pay the taxes that at least partially keep this company running because debt takes the rest of it? And if we find that we have a population that is getting squeezed and squeezed or not getting the raises so that the government receives more money, it becomes a real negative cycle. It's
Mm.
how nations get weakened. And if people give up and go, why should I bother? That's obviously if half of 1% does it, it's not that big a deal. But if 10% does that, it's a big deal. Uh, Last week's discussion was really important because you millennials and the Gen Zs are still working, you're still seeing your income growing. So the country's going to continue to have revenue because you are. Remember those countries we mentioned where the population is declining? What's
Yep.
going to happen to their tax income?
Yep. Down it goes.
Yeah, who wins? Because we had kids.
USA.
That's right. Exactly. USA is absolutely right. All right, so let's see who pays the most taxes, okay? And I'm not going to do this by bracket, but by percentage of the whole. So the top 1% pay 38.4% of all the income taxes. So the top 1% is a very small sliver at the top of the line graph. It's very select group of people, 38.4%. If you take the top 10%, it's 59.3% of all income taxes come from the top 10%.
Mm.
So when people say that top 10% don't pay their fair share, let's define what fair share is. 59.3% is a pretty good hunk of change. And if you want to know what the top 10% is, it's everyone who made at least $187,608
Mm.
is the top 10 percenter. That's personal, not household income. So just so I want to put it in relative terms. So uh, that makes a lot of people top 10 percenters that probably didn't realize they were top 10 percenters.
Yeah, it was a lower number than I was expecting.
Yeah, yeah. The top 50%, drum roll please, pay 97% of the income taxes into
Wow.
this country. 97%, which